We're joined this morning by Winter High School head football coach Dan Aker. Coach Aker tells me that he's getting a lot of seasoning doing interviews, so I'll take some credit for prepping him this season, getting ready for this state championship weekend. But Coach, good position to be in. No complaints on being here, though, correct?
No, I mean, it's a hectic week, busy week, but at the same time, there's a lot of different. There's probably not a coach or player out there that wouldn't be in our shoes, and we're certainly feel privileged to be there. Our guys have earned the right to be here, and that kind of comes with it. And we wouldn't have it any other way. I'm certainly not going to complain about it, that's for sure.
Let's talk about your semifinal game against Groton. Warriors kind of stuck to the script, I guess, did a nice job. I was impressed with Groton's quarterback, Shabazz, athletic kid, but it seemed like as the game progressed, your defense just did a better job of keeping him contained as well.
Yeah, that was probably one of the games I think this year where it really felt like kind of a traditional winner win. We really kept it on the ground and really grounded out, and had a couple drives where we were just hammering away. And once you get a lead like that, that's a nice feeling to have. I thought we had a couple of plays over the top that we didn't get, and who knows if we get either one of those or both of them, big momentum and plays. But that's okay, because I think leading up to the state championship game, those are things we just need to understand aren't always going to be there all the time. But yes, another solid defensive effort. I thought that our guys prepped really well mentally for the different formations that they were going to throw at us, and then. We talked all week that we just need you in the right spot. There's a couple times we got a little mixed up when we had kids running around. But for the most part, we were aligned where we needed to be. And then after that, just play football and make plays. And once again, defensively, I think that they had 125 yards or something like that. So when you hold a pretty good team to anything like that and keep them out of the end zone, and they never really threatened to score, honestly. And I think another key point of the game for us was, we've been talking about composure. We make a nice defensive stand first series, and then we fumble inside our own 50, and then but 3 and out, I think it was, and maybe we held them anyway, and we were able to get the ball back, and so that was good to see that. I think you talked about turnovers and capitalized on it. That was really nice to see our defense, forget about that turnover and do their job, and so all those things are nice as you build up for this game.
State championship game against Tri-Valley. That is a recurrent theme in the last decade, and one that I'm sure you're glad to continue. I'm sure you've answered this question about 20 times, but real briefly, a lot of mirror image there between Winter and Tri-Valley as far as tradition, as far as look, as far as the way they play. Just two teams with a lot in common, correct?
Yeah, without question. They want to run the ball. They're solid on defense. They're a true football program, just like Winter. Been there a lot of times. They've won a lot. We've been fortunate to get them the 2 times we played them there. But both the games come right down the last possession. 2 years ago, we played them in the quarterfinals here, and essentially came down last possession. Either we had to score late to get the lead and held on. So the 3 times we've seen them all in the playoffs have been within a touchdown and come down last possession. A couple of them left to the last play. And so it builds up a really nice game, and utmost respect for their program. They're very well coached. Obviously, have really good athletes, and they're battle tested this year. So, I think it sets up for, you call it round 3 or round 4, whatever you want to call, but it's 4th time we've seen them, 3rd time in the state championship, but and they're going to have a little extra incentive, like you need one for a state championship, right? But the fact that they're playing us and we've nipped them 3 times, I'm guessing is a little something in the back of their head.
The tradition factor, I guess I went through the program and I count 8 kids with dads that have won championships, 7 that have played for championships. And you got 11 kids who had big brothers that have been on your teams that have won championships. How much does that play into the pattern of thought this week of the kids, do you think?
Well, I'm guessing there's private conversations going on at home, and I hope there is. I mean, those are memories that no one ever takes away from you, and that's one thing we talk about is they're going to remember this for forever, and that's a great thing. And being able to understand some of the history and some of the other players and fathers and siblings or whatever, our brothers that have been there. I think that adds to it, and I think there probably is a resounding theme there. Is just like I talked about, is make the most of it. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the week. Okay, that's number one, because when you're going to be done. It's so when you get the playoffs, it's always kind of a when we talk to the kids right away, when the playoffs start, is the hard thing about this time of year is you never know when you're done unless you make that state championship game. Now so this is the last week, this is the last practice, what have you. Don't sell you or your teammates short, and make memories, and then take everything in when you get there, and play for your school, play for your community, play for your teammates, and I think that's a great thing to have. Obviously, the tradition here is, probably unmatched in my opinion. And being a small town where a lot of people still keep coming back and having kids of their own, that's a great thing, and a great thing that you can lean back on with your players.
The ribs with Riley, good to go.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't notice anything at all that really bothered him on Saturday. He wouldn't tell me if they were, I don't think, but he looks fine, and we haven't held him out at all at practice. We actually more of a reserve, and kind of key reserves are more dinged up now. Levi McClanahan hurt his knee a little bit there, and he hasn't really went yet this week, so I don't know if he's going to play Friday or not. And that's kind of big in rotation for linebackers, of course, because with Ty already out, that doesn't give us much rotation. And then Riley Calhoun sprained his ankle the Saturday during pregame. And he's down the depth charts a little bit, but somebody that we feel comfortable going to if we needed to. So, but I think he's fine. And so just a few dings there, but I think our starters are in good shape, and you just hope that they finish the year the same way and can play that entire game healthy and the way that they want to go out.
All right, Coach, last question. I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Prediction, State or the U?
Yeah, I tell you what, I got to go with the State just because I think they're probably a better team, but the U's had some big upsets and playing pretty well. I see that Coach Glenn got his 200th win, so that's something to momentum off. But I'm sure they're preaching NDSU victory. So, but I'd say SDSU is the biggest team, the better team. But the U at home, who knows? But if I had to put money on it, I'd take the Jacks.
Had to give you a curveball at the end. I appreciate all of your time this year, and best of luck. We'll all be pulling for the Warriors.
Yeah, thanks for the time you've given us, and just being able to get out there and talk about my team. I appreciate it, and we appreciate the support.